Hey everybody, I'm ZeldaMaster, and in this video I want to go over the newest information regarding Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, as this may be the biggest reveal we've gotten yet, as it showcases what potentially may be a completely new character within the series that we haven't seen in Breath of the Wild. And that is so exciting, as there may be a character that their story was never passed down throughout the 100 years leading to Breath of the Wild, someone who was forgotten in the past during the Great Calamity, or this character may be an already existing character we know about, but we never knew sided with the Yiga. Overall, this raises a lot of speculation, which I want to get into this video. But before I get into that, let me go over how this character was revealed to us, and that was during the newest trailer Nintendo dropped earlier today that heavily showcases the Yiga. And in this trailer, we get to see the appearance of Master Kohga. Yes, Master Kohga, it will be reappearing within Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, which is no surprise, as during the Urbosa gameplay, we saw when they paused the screen that an objective was to defeat Master Kohga, so already we assumed that Master Kohga would make an appearance. But on top of that, as we know, the Yiga were once Sheikah, so Master Kohga may have the same lifespan as Impa, Robbie, and I guess Purah, so yeah, it would make sense in why he would live 100 years after the Great Calamity. But one thing worth noting is that his body has not changed 100 years prior or 100 years after. He's still very fat, out of shape, somewhat big. At least he's not short like Impa and Robbie and Purah. But it's worth noting that yes, Master Kohga is still going to be very clumsy and goofy looking, so he won't be threatening whatsoever, but it's cool that we're going to see him throughout the game. Not too excited, as his appearance in Breath of the Wild was very meh, but I am excited that he's at least getting a cameo nonetheless. But speaking of someone that actually is threatening, is the newest character that's revealed to us at the end of this trailer. We see a scene of the cloaked, mysterious person standing in front of two Yiga member clansmen, and clearly this person has some sort of status, as the two Yiga Clan members are, bowing down to this person. So let's start off with breaking down how this character is dressed, and the first thing I'm sure a lot of fans immediately noticed is the cloak. Yes, the cloak has a Gerudo symbol on it, and that immediately raises a lot of questions. I mean, is this character a Gerudo? And if it is this character a female Gerudo, or did they somehow manage to break the cycle and bring another male Gerudo? And if this is not a Gerudo, are they wearing the cloak just to represent Ganondorf's heritage, as Ganondorf was once Gerudo? Overall, a lot to speculate and a lot to wonder just from the cloak alone, as that's a symbol you wouldn't normally see on, characters that isn't necessarily Ganondorf or other female Gerudo, so it is very interesting. But I do have a couple theories on who this may be, and a character that would fit as a Gerudo with this character. But let's break down a couple other things we see visually just by looking at the character, and that is its staff. Its staff represents, obviously, the malice with the reddish pinkish color that we see the malice represented as, but on top of that, it looks very futuristic, kind of like a guardian-like staff. Maybe this is some sort of Sheikah tech that is corrupted by the malice, just like how the guardians and divine beasts eventually get corrupted, and it's using Ganondorf's power to control it. It does look a lot like one of the giant Sheikah guardian cores that we see from Breath of the Wild rotating, but obviously in that malice red color. But then we actually get a close-up of this character's face, and this has to be the most interesting part. And the first thing you may notice is the malice-like eye that is the center forehead jewel piece on this character. Yes, it's literally representing the eyes we see that take form from the malice that we have to defeat throughout Hyrule. And this clearly represents Calamity Ganon, as the eyes are a part of Ganon's dark corruption, it being the malice. So yeah, already with this character being with the Yiga, we can already assume this character is here to somehow resurrect Calamity Ganon and is on Ganondorf's side. But also we can see their complexion, and their complexion doesn't really look like any of the races throughout Hyrule, as it has very bluish ash-like skin. this braided blondish gray hair and the weird yellowish tinted eyes. You can't really tell it's very dark, but overall the features it carries doesn't really represent any of the races we know throughout Hyrule. But obviously that just might be the villain complexion, as it does look like a lot of villains we've seen throughout the Zelda series, and this is where the speculation comes in, as there's a lot of speculation to who this character might be, not just from myself, but from plenty of fans. Now I want to go over pretty much the top speculations I have for who this character might be, so let's get started. So the first one is kind of the most far-fetched one, but one I have this weird gut feeling about, and that is Twinrova. And the reason why I say Twinrova is because out of all of Ganondorf's henchmen, the only one that was actually Gerudo was Twinrova. And when they did fuse into one being, no longer being twins but a single person, they became very young and attractive, which, you know, I guess they counteracted age itself by becoming, you know, one. And maybe this is why this character is one single person and not Twinrova as we know them as. So what if Ganondorf's, you know, original Gerudo henchman is back? Now we do see in Ocarina of Time that they literally fly up to the heavens, but maybe they are reincarnated. Maybe this is their granddaughter's great whatever grandkids. You know, I don't know how many grays we're gonna go. It's thousands upon thousands of years from Ocarina of Time to Breath of the Wild, but maybe this is related to Twinrova in some way, and the only reason why I strongly believe that is because of the Gerudo symbol. And I mean, if you do look at the aesthetic, the yellowish eyes, the darkish complexion, the hair, all kind of represents Twinrova in some way. But again, this might be so far-fetched, as why would they bring such a iconic character from a very old Zelda game to then randomly appear here and then have its lore completely forgotten about by the time we reach Breath of the Wild's time. But I think it's worth speculating, and I want to put it first on my list of speculations, as I just have this strong feeling that maybe it might be Twinrova just because they share the Gerudo symbol and they are also Gerudo. Now obviously this is only speculation, my point is just a theory, but to kind of add on to that theory, what we did see in Hyrule Warriors, the original one, was Koei Tecmo take a character like Volvagia, the dragon, which was an Ocarina of Time boss, and make him into an actual character within the series. And it fit really well. Let's be honest, Volvagia's design is badass. It looks so cool. Koei Tecmo did a really good job bringing life to a character that really had no voice or character and make him into something really cool. I mean, look at how badass Impa came out. Let's be real. I'm one of the few that thinks Hyrule Warriors Impa design is far better than the one shown in Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. But I would love to see Koei Tecmo do that exact same thing, but with Twinrova. I mean, and again, with them being Gerudo, would make a lot of sense. So the Fortune Teller is a character that I feel like a lot of Zelda fans are speculating, and that is because obviously this character has a very mage-like look, which we can assume would attribute to a Fortune Teller, but on top of that, this character does prophesize the return of Calamity Ganon. So if this character knows Calamity Ganon will return, maybe they went rogue and went to the Yiga Clan and let them know as well, joining them and helping them attempt to return Calamity Ganon. But the reason why I don't really believe that this character may be the Fortune Teller is because the Fortune Teller is meant to be a character we don't really get to know, a character with no identity, one that is even theorized to be the Queen of Hyrule. Yes, Zelda's mother is theorized to be the Fortune Teller in the Creating a Champion book. Obviously that's not confirmed, but it's worth thinking about, as because the Fortune Teller is meant to be anonymous throughout Hyrule's history, just helping prophesize the events of the Great Calamity and nothing more. But if somehow, some way the Fortune Teller went rogue, or maybe the Fortune Teller was Gerudo, as Zelda's mother was really close to Urbosa, so maybe Urbosa knew of a Gerudo Fortune Teller, thus, you know, introducing it to the King of Hyrule, and maybe that was a bad idea as the Gerudo fortune teller eventually goes against the King of Hyrule and then joins the Yiga. We have no clue, but that's also worth mentioning because I'm sure a lot of you guys are assuming, but I have a not so certain feeling that that may be who it is. Now this one I feel like may be logical for a lot of Zelda fans, but I feel like doesn't really fit in Breath of the Wild, and that is overall previous henchmen Ganondorf has had, them being like Vaati or Yuga, because in the original Hyrule Warriors we see Ganon team up with Girahim and Zant, and they work as henchmen throughout the game. Granted, that game isn't canon, and it's a mashup of all Zelda games, but what if somehow, someway, Ganon got a hold of another of his henchmen, them being maybe Yuga or Vaati? I don't see it being those two, but I see a lot of fans speculating that, because we haven't really seen them throughout the games, outside of the few they are featured in, and they could possibly make a reappearance. I mean, Nintendo could always be like they were resurrected by some sort of evil magic. It doesn't really need to be explained thoroughly, as Vaati does reappear throughout the series, and Yuga somehow making an appearance could still make sense, as it does appear in a timeline, and maybe somehow it trickles back to Breath of the Wild. But again, I doubt those. Obviously, Agnihim, or however you pronounce it, I don't know, that's how I used to pronounce it when I used to play the game A Link to the Past as a kid. But Agnihim is essentially known to be Ganondorf's alter ego, the truest henchman to Ganondorf, one that is essentially just there to resurrect the Demon King. So there is possibility that maybe it's connected to some sort of Agnihim, or maybe Agnihim contacted a Gerudo and turned him rogue, and something like that, but I highly doubt it, as it was kind of like a concept in A Link to the Past, and I feel like wasn't really brought back again. Now this is the last speculation I have, and this one I kind of believe, but also feel like it might be a bit iffy, as I'm just very fixated on that Gerudo cloak, and that may be the fact that this could be some Gerudo that just went rogue. It could somehow, some way, a male Gerudo was born into the line of Gerudo, which they can only be female, and the whole male being born every 100 years kind of just stopped throughout their timeline. But what happens if some way, somehow, it happened again, and that male Gerudo wants to be the vessel for Ganondorf, and they're trying to resurrect him, and they can't be the vessel because Ganondorf's original body is dormant under Hyrule Castle. So what if somehow, some way, a Gerudo just wants to be like, I want to be like how Link and Zelda are always reincarnated with their spirits. I want to be the vessel for the spirit of the Demon King, and they're just all for it. Some Gerudo that has, no name, that is literally just a new character entirely, has no history or lore, was just born into the Gerudo, lived a nobody life, and then all of a sudden is making a name for themselves by going rogue, by doing what the Gerudo never wanted to do, and that is give Ganon a body to reincarnate in. So, while this is very dark and I highly doubt it, I think that'd be so cool, and again, it would explain why the Gerudo symbol is featured. Now, I know a lot of you guys may also kind of attribute this to the small scene we see in the Breath of the Wild 2 trailer of a cloaked person interacting with the corpse of Ganondorf, but I highly doubt those two are connected. I also wanted just to point those out because I feel like some people might connect the two, but with this being a prequel to Breath of the Wild, and then Breath of the Wild 2 being a sequel, I feel like there's just too big of a gap for this character to be the same character in both of these trailers. But aside from this character, like I said, we get some footage of the Yiga Clan. We get to see a bunch of Yiga soldiers along with this really hunky buff one. I just feel like I have to point that out. And obviously Master Kohga. And overall, I just think it's really cool that this character is going to be a part of the Yiga, going to give the Yiga more character to begin with, because the Yiga, for being the rogue Sheikah, don't really seem that cool. In Breath of the Wild, the Yiga had way more potential than they were given, and I hope that this new character will redeem the Yiga for us, because we know, even though Master Kohga is coming back, he ain't doing that for the Yiga. It has to be this new character. So please let me know what you guys think of this new character and who they may be. This video is mainly to kind of just let you guys speculate with me. I'm not here to give you guys any answers, as we have no clue who this is, but I thought it'd be fun to kind of share this information with you guys and then just ask you guys who you may think it is. I would love to start a conversation in the comments below and just get all of your guys' theories and information on who this is. Main reason why I'm making this video, as I think it'd be really fun to kind of theorize together. I give you guys my initial theories and thoughts on who this may be, and we'll see if I'm right. Let me know what you guys think, and we'll see if you're right. But overall, I'm excited nonetheless to know who this is, regardless of who we are speculating. And yeah, I'm overall just so hyped for Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. I hope you guys are as well. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video and if you're excited for this upcoming game. Anyways, that about does it for this video. I'll see you guys in a new video with more Hyrule Warriors info or anything Zelda related. Or anything really, because yeah, we got a lot of videos planned, so I hope you guys are subscribed and staying tuned for that. But anyways, as always, I've been ZeldaMaster. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!